So in this video, I'm going to show you two different ways that you can start a Google Meet for student collaboration with teachers. Now, both of these are designed to provide a method where students have access, but not before the meeting starts. Um, this will prevent them from being able to slip in the back door to a meeting or enter a meeting before the teacher's there. So I'm going to show you both of these methods. The first thing is going directly right to Meet. So I could go do that by going to meet.google.com, or I can click on my waffle and find Meet down underneath that. Either option works. Now, I'm in as a teacher, and today you can see I have a number of meetings lined up. So as the teacher, I could then click on those and join those meetings myself. I also have an option at the top that says join or start a meeting. So if I click on that, it's going to let me put in a nickname to start a meeting. So I'll go ahead and do that. Now, for your nicknames, you can kind of determine a scheme ahead of time. So for example, you could tell your students that at 9 a.m. on Wednesday, you're going to join this meeting, and the meeting nickname will be teacher last name and period they usually have your class, or day of the week, or subject, or whatever else you want to use. It's best if you use something that you think would be unique. So if everyone just called their meeting and a teacher in another building did the same nickname, it's possible that you could have students dropping into your meetings unannounced because they happen to have a nickname for a meeting that actually wasn't the meeting you scheduled. So that's why last name is a good way to kind of make that unique with whatever additional stuff you put in there. So I'm going to just call this one Coburn Test for me. Okay. So I click on continue, and it gets ready to join the meeting. You can see right here, there's my nickname, Coburn Test. And if I click on join now, it would get me into the meeting, and no one's here, right? So I'm going to hop over to this browser here as a student, all right? So as my fake student, if you give them that meeting code, they can go to use a meeting code, enter it, and then they too are able to join the meeting, all right? So I'll allow my mic and my camera, and then I can join as my fake student. Okay, so after the meeting's done, the student can click to leave the meeting, or during the meeting, I'm back as the teacher. If I click on my list of people and click the little down arrow, I have an option to remove that student. So if I remove the student, if I go through and remove all my students at the end, if I go back to as my student, you can see someone has removed me from the meeting. I call as well, and I'll go back to my home screen, my Meet home screen. Now, as a student, you can't start a meeting. So let's say, for example, that I told my students that on Wednesday they're going to join a meeting called Coburn Wednesday. All right. So if I haven't gone into as my teacher, if I haven't gone in and gone to join or start a meeting with Coburn Wednesday, those students can't join it. If the meeting hasn't been already started by the teacher, they're going to get something like this. You're not allowed to start a meeting. Or if they just wanted to start their own meeting, right? Random meeting with my friends, right? If they told all their friends, hey, let's go to this meeting, here's what the meeting code is going to be, they're going to get, no, you can't do that. Students can't start meetings. The other thing I'll mention about staff initiated meetings is that there is currently, as of April 10th, 2020, there seems to be like a 30-second lag or so after a meeting starts that a student could sneak back into it. So let me show you what I mean by that. So I'm going to go back to, let's say I'll do Coburn123. If I can spell my own name today, I'll do Coburn123 to start my meeting. And then I'll join it. And then as a student, I'll join that meeting and allow my camera and join it. So if I cancel both as my teacher and my student, but then go back to my student, you can see there's this option that says to rejoin. If I click on that, it's going to let me go back in to that meeting because it's been less than 30 seconds. Now, if I let that sit for a while and 30 seconds later try to hop in, it's going to tell me that the meeting's not available. So currently, I haven't seen a fix from Google about that. Hopeful that that lag is something they address soon. So another way that teachers can start a Google Meet that students can't hop into is by doing it through your Google Classroom. So if you have a Google Classroom, one option you have is if you click up on the gear in the right-hand corner and scroll down, there's now this option that has Google Meet right into it. So if you turn that on and enable it for students and save it, you will now have this meeting link right in your Google Classroom. So if I go in as that student, there's the link, okay? The interesting thing about the link is if I click on it as a student, and I'll allow my camera and my mic, it says code doesn't work. So I can keep clicking on this code and it won't work. It will only work if the teacher first clicks on the link and joins the meeting. So as the teacher, I'm now in the meeting. If I go to my student screen and click on it, suddenly I'm allowed to join that meeting. Now, this has the same 30-second lag that the doing a meeting through Meet does. So if I enter the Meet as the teacher, and then 30 seconds later or longer, a student tries to click back on this link and get in, they're going to get that same error message. But there's again that little window of pause. So like right now here, it's been 30 seconds for that meeting that I gave them the code for. They can't get back in. So hopefully those two methods give you some other options to enter into your meeting. Stay tuned. Google's changing things by the hour, and they may have more options and better options as time goes on.